The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got two special guests. I got Proving Grounds, Todd Graham, and Elk Mania's Ryan Andrews. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Hey, man. I can see we're in the 3-shot.
Yes.
We just don't have it up on the screens. And
Yeah, because Dick knows I tend to look at the screen over there all the time. That's why. Seriously, it's my fault. Sorry, guys.
All right.
But you guys got a huge announcement. I'm so excited to hear this, and everybody else is too. So, take it away, guys.
All right. Well, as everyone knows in this business, this year has been extremely tough because of COVID. Elk Mania was supposed to do 3 shows this year. Actually, 4. We were supposed to do 4 shows this year.
Salem State, yeah.
We had got invited to Salem State College. We were going to do what we were calling the Salem State Supercard. Thank you, Ryan Malanafi, or Davis Wright.
Yes.
He came up with that name. And we were going to do the 3 at the Beverly Salem Elks like we always do, April, and then we were going to do September and October for our big finale, Elk Mania. I believe this was going to be 8 we were going to be doing.
Yes.
And unfortunately, because everything's been shut down, we haven't been able to do that. I mean, the lodge just opened back up to be a bar/restaurant because of all the rules. So unfortunately, we didn't get to do much this year. And as we were passing through the year, Atlee and I, Atlee was supposed to be here with us tonight. Unfortunately, he had to work late, couldn't make it. So Atlee and I were talking about it, and we said, you know, we're getting kind of tired with a lot of the work. Like a lot of work goes into this, no doubt.
Sure.
And we weren't, you know, we're not in the best shapes of our lives. Doing all the running around wasn't doing us very well. So we said, you know, why don't we talk to Todd and see what we can do about, you know, having him help out more with the shows. And then we thought about it a little more and we said, why don't we, and here it is, as of, a week ago? A week ago. Elk Mania Promotions is now officially part of the Proving Ground.
Nice.
From here on out, all Elk Mania titled shows will be run by the Proving Ground out of the Beverly Salem Lodge of Elks.
Yep.
And a lot of the work that we had done was for charity, and Todd has agreed that the Elk Mania named shows will still be going towards the Elks National Foundation as we had been doing.
Yep.
I think that's very important. I think you know, charity in general. We'll talk more about the one I'm doing for the Boston Children's Hospital in a little bit. But like, yes, one of the big things, it's what made running Elk Manias possible was the ability. We were able to run in that building because you said it the first time you were here on this show. You actually said, you know, everybody's doing all these charity things for the club. You know, you felt like that you were kind of like, we could definitely do more. And then, you know, what do we all like? Wrestling. And here we are 8 years later.
Yep.
So
what that also means is, as of 2021, the Beverly Salem Elks is exclusively the home of the Proving Ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great building, by the way. I was there.
Aside from the staircase behind the entrance, it's an incredible building.
That staircase.
When this got brought to my attention, immediately I was just like, well, I'm definitely interested. A lot of stuff had gone down in the last year, obviously, to cause issues. We lost the Chop Shop. The Chop Shop is donezo now, and we were running shows there when we weren't running in Peabody. We had intended to run 4 times in 2020 at the Peabody Knights of Columbus, and then the remainder of the year we would run in our Chop Shop location because we had fan base in Rhode Island that was absolutely thanks to the RWA, and then of course we were beginning to build in Peabody, and much to the dismay of some, for whatever reason. And so we did
Don't
that.
forget you did well there.
You
You did very well there.
Let's not go revisiting
No,
this.
I hear you.
But when they came to me with this, it was at a time where it was like we lost the chop shop, and then I lost my job. So like I got, because of everything happening with COVID and the budgets for the next year, they kind of got rid of my position. So, I was just like, oh, great. I'm just going to sit on my ass for the next little while and collect unemployment. And then these guys came to me with this, and I'm like, nope, back to work.
Right.
So, a lot of us have been down. A lot of us haven't been able to do anything in terms of, running shows, but the business can still be the business. And they came to me with this. I said I was interested. We sat down and figured out terms, and it was pretty simple. I mean, the last time, when we were all here together, Ryan, Atlee, and myself, when we were all here together, it was shortly after, I believe, I left being a part of the team. Because there was I think it was right before.
Well, were you still the
before
Bay State
06.
champion?
No. I was just about ready to wrestle Kevin Jaws for it. So it was around that show that I had departed from the team for personal reasons.
Right.
Just stuff going on in my life, and I wanted to focus on other things. But it's not like we ever were truly apart.
Okay, yeah.
So
You guys are good friends anyway.
yeah, that was the thing. We were friends before this,
Right.
And that's why we did Elkmania in the first place. And I think being able to write the rest of the story for something that I take a lot of pride in helping build I'm privileged that Atlee and Ryan came to me.
Right.
And the thing is, this is one of those things where, if you're an Elkmania fan and you're hearing this, you're happy, because you know that I'm going to take care of it.
Right.
If you're somebody in the business who's like, what's he talking about? Some other little wrestling promotion. It's not little to the North Shore. There's not a lot going on in that area. There never was. Right. It was us and Todd Sopel for years.
Yeah.
And it's completely different audiences too, as you come to find out. Because I used to go to Todd's shows.
Right.
And I would look in the audience and be like, there's a lot of people here that I do not recognize from Elkmania. So the North Shore,
school people.
A lot of school, exactly, and that's the thing. And I'm just going to say this: I'm not going to run the McCarthy. I've been asked ever since he decided to step away from the business if I was going to run the building, and I've said no every time, and I mean it.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, that was our building to begin with, wasn't it? I say
North Shore Wrestling.
North Shore Wrestling, which was kind of the
Atlee Green and Tim Fury, and I was not a partner, but I was basically Atlee's right hand man throughout everything.
Working.
Yes, learning everything I could.
Exactly. So it became very apparent that the North Shore was not necessarily an untapped market, because there's lots of wrestling that you can reach from here.
Right.
But there's not a lot of stuff going on
right there in that community.
And with this merger, the Elkmania Promotions name goes away, but Elkmania will still be a big tentpole event every year. We will still number them accordingly.
Right.
The championship belts will cross over. We're going to address that because we just announced at a recent private taping that we've got new belts coming too. And the last thing any promotion needs is a small roster and 50 titles.
I'm just saying, it's working for the WWE.
I don't know, is it?
Short answer, no. But it's been obviously everything that goes into it. It's fun. It's exciting to be able to be like, well, look at all these other toys I get to play with. I'm a terrible shill. We'll talk about that later too.
Dude, I knew right away who the little guy was.
Yep.
And it just the size of the other one in the middle threw me off. Just because he's not a very big guy, I didn't, you know what I mean? But once Ryan told me who it was, I see it.
Yeah. But yeah, being able to have this opportunity is really cool. Elkmania always meant something to me.
Right.
Ever since I was a kid, I had many, many dreams of professional wrestling. And, I always thought, I always thought realistically, like, I don't know if I can make it to the WWE, which is nonsense. If I tried harder, I probably could have. But I don't really like playing the what-if game. I know I was lazy. I'm the reason why it didn't happen. Bob Evans said to me within the last year, he said, your legacy in this business is not going to be what you do in the ring. It's going to be what you do back there, especially with what you do. And I took that to heart. And this is an opportunity to actually focus on that.
Yeah.
So Elkmania means the world to me. And, like I said, when I was a kid, I had all these dreams and I got to live most of them through Elkmania. It's like when I was a kid, it was just like, I'd love to win a championship in my hometown. And Beverly is literally, it's the next town over.
Right.
And I won the Bay State title in front of a packed house. And I'll never forget it.
Right.
I always wanted to wrestle in a cage, and I got to do that. I always wanted the audience to sing along with the theme song that I came out to, but I always picked songs nobody knew. So I went ahead and I switched it. I made the Mark decision and came out to Enter Sandman one night, and it was amazing. And then they sang "We Are the Champions" at me when we were over. So it's like I got to live all these really, really cool things. And I also got to watch a lot of people that I care about live these dreams. I got to be a part of people like Derek Conway getting
He was here just a few weeks ago.
I know he was. I was just like, you better have been nice to me. I know. And then, I got to have a hand in Kevin Giles getting a moment, and, in Proving Ground, I put him with Brian Malonis.
Yeah.
And, there's a video we never aired of him hugging and crying with me backstage after. He's like, well, you're the monster. We can't show this.
Yeah.
But thank you. So it's like, it's nice. Once again, it's not just what I did out there. It's what I feel that I'm going to be able to give to everybody that works for me. And that building, those fans were always so good. Always loud.
Just because you mentioned Conway and Giles, I'd just like to mention that Elkmania Promotions, we did a lot of cool stuff with Burke Beckett too.
My little brother. Yeah.
Burke Beckett doesn't get talked about very often. He's not well known. He doesn't widely travel. But that guy is always one of those guys that would say, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Even if you have nothing for me, I'm still going to show up.
Right.
And we always found something cool for him, and that audience loved to hate him so much.
Because he's
awesome.
British. But he's not.
But they think he is. No, that's fantastic, though.
Yeah, so this whole opportunity, and I just wanted to publicly say thank you to Atlee Green, and of course my esteemed colleague here, Ryan Andrews, with whom I have been unkind. But I'd like to tell you that'll never happen again, but it will continue.
Speaking of unkind, I mean, you wanted to be Bay State champion before I ever even considered thinking about.
Oh my God. They wanted to get the second Atlee suggested Bay State title in my name next to it. Ryan was like, no, it's not going to happen.
It'll never work.
And then you guys did it, and you were just like, let's keep it on him forever.
Hey.
And then I broke my neck, and then I was just like, let's give it to someone else.
That changed a lot of things.
Yeah, it tends to.
How is your neck?
Well, the last time I was on this show, it was in a really bad place because I didn't know what was wrong. Right. I had no idea. I didn't break my neck. What ended up happening was I herniated a disc in my neck in my match with Brian Malonis back in 2018. I'd given him the Saito suplex, which had become a signature of mine, and I didn't get my arm out from under him. And just the way I moved or jerked or whatever, I thought I had just hurt my shoulder.
Right.
And what ended up happening was that it just sent shock waves and herniated the disc. That stuff can happen running on the treadmill.
Absolutely.
So, they found out, the MRI, which is not a terrible, anybody who has to get an MRI, it's usually not as bad as mine was. Because if you remember, it was difficult for me to even lay down without pain, and have to lay down, not move. Yeah. And I'm sitting in there, they said you can finally go for the MRI. Because remember, they dilly-dallied on it for a long time. Like, you can finally go in and get the MRI. I'm like, good, I'll just lay in the tube, 20 minutes, boom, boom, bang, we're done. Most excruciating 20 minutes of my life. Just because I'm like, I need them to do this so that they can fix the problem. And I'm having a hard time laying there still, and it was a nightmare. But it got done.
Right.
They scheduled the surgery like immediately. It was like 2 weeks later, because they saw it, and I'm like, so is this the kind of hernia? Because you can get like Adam Nessel, who was on the show, we talk about a lot. Adam Nessel had herniated discs in his lower back. I think it was like 2 of them, and he didn't need the surgery. They caught it early enough for him to be able to, like, first of all, stop wrestling, and secondly, go to physical therapy and work it out, and he did, and thankfully, and I'll say this now, he just became a father.
Nice, congratulations.
And he's living a pretty good. He's not in a chair, which was very important to me.
Yep.
And it's very important to me personally as well that I don't wind up in a chair either. So they said it's going to require. So you're not going to get out of. He described it as like crab meat. Like it looked like crab meat coming. I'm like, yeah. Cut me open, sew me up. Thanks.
Right.
So I went in. It was like 2 weeks later. Surgery was a day. I was in and out in like 9 hours.
Wow.
And, when I woke up, it was like they turned the pain off. It was
awesome.
Amazing. Remember the last time I was here, I shook your hand, couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
I had lost all sensation in my hand. It hurt to lay down. And then I literally went to sleep. I woke up, didn't even know anything happened. It never hurt.
Wow.
Excellent. I never took any of the pain meds they gave me.
Right.
And I still wound up, once again, it was like they turned it off, and it was like, oh my God, I have my hand again. And 2 days later, it was like back to normal in terms of strength. And I was just like, wow. Okay. And then 3 days later, I announced my retirement at Elkmania.
Right.
And then 4 days, and then the next day, King Leon grabbed me by the neck and threw me around the ring, because this business is a sick one, Leo.
Yes.
You never stop. But the short version of the answer to your question is, I'm doing very well, and I'm happy that I'm not in pain anymore.
I'm glad you're not in pain either, and great doctor you had, obviously.
I think so.
Great hospital. Guys, you want to do the fan questions, or do you want to get to something else first?
I think we'll do the fan questions, because that was the extent of the reason we came here. I was supposed to be here in March to promote a show that got canceled. So
right, and I had to cancel that show.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from Anthony Markbalkas. How hard has COVID been on Proving Ground, and what's some of the things that you guys or the fans can do to make it like it was before COVID or better?
It'll never be like it was before. I don't think wrestling or live events are ever going to be the same again. We'll get close to it.
Yeah.
But it'll be for like when they closed everything down and they started talking about like wear your mask, wash your hands, do all that stuff, right? Immediately I was reminded that in New Japan, in Japan wrestling in general, they've been doing that forever.
Right.
Just like so what the Americans consider, oh man, we got to wear masks when we go out and enjoy shows, and we got to wear these masks. On the other side of the world, they've been doing that forever.
Right.
So I expect masks to be, and in 5 years when this interview is watched and it's completely dated, I expect masks to be a permanent part of the culture going forward. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same in several years, no matter what they do. So as far as it ever being the same again, I don't know. As far as what COVID has done to the Proving Ground, is like, well, obviously we haven't been able to run shows.
Yeah.
And I've honestly, we've been behind on getting our footage out, and we got the IWTV deal, so we're on IWTV now. And I've been slowly sending the shows and editing the shows. If anything, COVID has given us the time to process.
I still got ticket money for you for that May show.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're buying dinner tonight for Mr. Steve Martin. Like I said, the time off has given us an opportunity to try and catch up. So I got a bunch of shows that I've edited, and we're planning a big release coming up. I wanted to start making the YouTube a lot more viable, because I'm terrible when it comes to uploading stuff, and if I'm gonna get those 1 million subscribers, I'm gonna need to actually put content on the YouTube.
I think so.
So there's that. I mean, we did a private, low-key private taping within the last little while. Kind of like what Limitless has been doing.
Okay.
And we're gonna start putting those out at some point.
Excellent.
We're probably gonna get heat for it, because honestly, everybody who's running shows now is getting heat for them, and it's to be expected at this point. you know. But yeah, no, as far as what we can do to bring it back to normal in the future, it's to just simply stay diligent.
Right.
You know, like we still have an amazing roster of people that are behind us, and obviously when we get to running shows again, the emails will keep coming in with people out of state wanting to come and work. And you know, we had debated doing more private tapings, but I don't know if we're going to go that way. I do miss our audience.
Right.
I miss, obviously, you know, half the fun of a wrestling show is the audience.
Absolutely.
And I do get a kick out of like a lot of promotions, like doing these private TV tapings. And there's kind of this unspoken, like, well, you know, it's a step back. And, you know, we used to run in front of 400 people. For me, it's going home because everybody's doing, including the WWE, everybody's doing what we started with. So it's just like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. This is just like a homecoming to me. And like I said, we did that private taping, and honestly, I thought it was fantastic. There wasn't an inch of rust on any of them.
Excellent.
So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, going forward, just stay the course. Wait for the guidelines to change. Hopefully, we'll get a vaccine that people will actually accept, and hopefully, wrestling will be back in 2021. That's the hope. And when it comes back, we will be there.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, Adam Nessel has a question. Ryan, can you elaborate on the milkshake in the bag incident?
Okay, I'm going to make this as quick as possible.
All right, because I have no idea what he's talking about.
14 years ago,
So-
when we were in a backyard somewhere.
I was going to say, everybody in this area started in a backyard, and that's no exception for us either.
Yeah.
So we were at Nestle's house doing a backyard thing. And was it you or was it Tony? One of you hit me in the face got hit in the face with a bag that it turned out had a milkshake in it.
All right, so just to paint the picture for everyone watching, it's a paper bag.
Yeah.
I've got a sweater vest on.
He's wearing a sweater vest. It's a McDonald's vanilla shake. So you know the consistency of a McDonald's shake. It's kind of thick, kind of heavy, and it's in a paper bag. And it was coming at about 62 miles per hour directly into your face. Now that once this goes live, I'm going to post the clip of it.
Awesome.
Because we got it from 2 angles, I think.
Probably. You get everything from 2 angles.
I do.
Anyway, it's Adam Nessel's fault. I'm sure he was the brainchild behind it. Like, it was his
all
idea.
Adam's fault.
Oh, yes, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, so Adam has asked me to clear the air on this event. To clear the air on
Yes,
this
because that was the next one. Todd, please set the record straight.
That nobody
Clear his
watching
name.
has any goddamn clue about what we're talking about. So,
You clearing his name?
yes.
All right.
Adam, myself, Tony Spencer, you know, Vern Gagne trainee.
Yes,
Tony
yes,
Spencer.
yes. The longest Granite State champion of all time.
Still has it now. Just bought a belt. So it's Adam, myself, and a handful of our friends, and we went to some ice cream place. And we're sitting there, and I say, wouldn't it be hilarious to hit someone in the face with a milkshake in a bag? And our friend Mark was just like, yeah, that'd be cool, kid. So immediately was signed off on, because at that point, Tony's like, it's going to be my idea. So fast forward to the opportune time, Tony slips away in the middle of the show to go get a milkshake from McDonald's down the street. He keeps it in the freezer, so it was extra hard when dumps it into the bag, and absolutely just Eddie Kingston backhands him with this bag all over the place. Naturally, Ryan, a 7 at the time, was very, very upset. And
Is this true, Tony? Is this true, Tony?
He swore,
Did you do this?
He swore never to have anything to do with that backyard promotion again for another week. So he was back the following week. So
Nice.
I think I have all those tapes too. But
All right.
Remember.
that's what happened.
All right, Adam, you're cleared. All right. Matthew McGee, Freight Train.
Yes.
For Todd, now that you're wrestling, when will you accept the challenge by Freight Train? We got a couple guys that asking questions about themselves in this.
Yeah, they asked the most selfish man in the world, who now just has another wrestling promotion, questions about themselves. Look,
They're being selfish.
if it ain't about me, we're not going to talk about it. No, Matt Freight Train and I have some history, and he ran a show was probably around the last time I
It
was
was
here.
it was March. It was right before the last NCW show, wasn't
That's right. It was March. So it was after I had the surgery, which is okay. And I absolutely destroyed that old man with a chair. And
it? Yeah, you did.
and there was talk and anticipation about having finally having the singles match that never was. And then at that private taping I told you about, I officially announced I wasn't coming out of retirement. So he can live with that, just like I lived with what he did to me that caused the chair shot in the first place. So, we're even.
All right.
Call it that for now.
I was going to say, though, you should get him, wait a couple years, let him get a little, because you guys already said he's old, right?
Yeah.
Wait if he gets a couple more
He's got to
years
be pushing.
older.
He's got to be pushing 70.
You know what this sounds like to me, Leo? This sounds to me like if he dies, you could pee on him.
Wait.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh,
What are you
no, I don't
doing?
want that.
Hey,
I like Matt.
If Atlee Green can challenge George Hackenschmidt,
Yeah, 70 years after he's died, yes.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible match. He was wearing a sombrero. Look up Project Zero Wrestling.
I remember meeting Ryan and Atlee years ago. I don't remember what show it was, but I'm talking. When did you first come into around the wrestling scene as a fan into independent shows?
so
Atlee was wrestling.
I didn't
right?
know about independent wrestling. I literally went to one independent wrestling show
Yeah.
before I actually got involved with it, and it was back in 2001, Ultimate Gamble in Beverly, at the Beverly High School. And then
Whose show was
all
that?
of my involvement, it was Craig's.
Oh.
Craig, how would you say his last name? Because I've apparently been
Callier?
saying it
It's
wrong all
Kaler.
this time.
It's Kaler.
Yeah. See, I would have said it wrong.
But
Everybody did forever.
that's literally the only independent show I ever went to before I
Atlee
got
on that
involved in
show?
the business. Yes, it was.
Then I might have been, because I might have
It was a
been.
tag team match. It was him and Tony. Was it him and Tony Atlee? You don't know, but you might have the program or the tape. You probably have the
I
tape.
probably have the tape.
I feel like he tagged with Tony Atlas, didn't he? Or was that a different show? I've heard the story so many times.
Was
I can't
that one
really
of those
tell
shows that Robbie Ellis wanted to wrestle somebody younger than Atlee?
Of
No,
course
that
he
was
wants
NLP.
to.
That was
Of course he
NLP.
does.
I noticed you guys were
Good times.
tiptoeing on that one
Good
episode
times.
of the show. Yeah. I used my whole ass.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys. Big fan of the show. Dave Delafontaine.
Of course.
Question for Todd and Ryan. What do you believe to be the biggest mistakes you've made with your first show, and how do you believe you have improved since? And you fixed it online and found out it's
I
about
wanted to
your
find out what he meant. What he mean as a
promoted.
wrestler's promoter, because I believe Dave and his friend Chris are going to start running shows up his neck of the woods. Well, I guess I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
That's New Hampshire.
They just bought a ring, so that's all I know.
Excellent.
Do you want to take this one?
You know, I mean, to be honest, the first show that I technically ran, I ran with you and Atlee, and I mean, Atlee already had so much experience going into it. And
The
I mean,
biggest issue I remember was you getting mad at me because I wanted to shake Steven's hand at the end of the match.
why do you got to shake everybody's hand, Todd? Why do you got to shake everybody's hand?
I, like you, was brought up on that Ring of Honor.
Who's Stephen who?
It's not important now.
No. No.
He stepped on a ring apron, his knee exploded, we never saw him again.
Well, that's too bad.
No,
Seriously.
Stevie James was one of my guys back
yeah.
in the older project, and he's a good friend, and I believe he moved. I think he might be in Fall River.
Was that Elkmania 2 or 3?
It was 3, I believe.
So that was your first time helping out?
No, Elkmania. Well, we all started Elkmania together.
Together.
Oh, okay.
But the question is like what were some of the big mistakes that you made?
Yeah.
Running in a town that somebody else ran in. That wasn't necessarily a mistake, but it was just like it was a headache.
Yeah, but you went about it all the right way.
I know. But all right, so yeah, that was probably the big. All right, so here's the answer. The biggest issue that you're going to come into as a first-time promoter are the ones you don't plan for. That's it. You can have payroll all set. You can have the ring paid for. You can have the building paid for. You can have all the concessions. You can have the merch on the table. You can have every last box checked that you think is going to be important to have, and you're going to get there, and 17 things are going to happen that you didn't even think about. Doug Summers retired on us the afternoon before before a show he was booked on.
Oh my
for us.
God, that one killed me.
And
that
I
one
love
killed
Doug
me.
Summers.
Yep.
Before the politics.
Right.
Let's be real, But I love Doug Summers, and he was scheduled. I forget what the match was. It Elkmania 3.
So it was the Closers versus Doug Summers and Tomahawk.
Yeah.
You would have thought he would have been excited to be in that match.
It was a great
You know?
match. I mean, he was excited when he
Right.
told me, when we talked about it. And then at one point, he finally says to me, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I asked him, I said, hey, what happened? And he said, I just wanted to stop pretending to be someone I wasn't. Was his whole explanation he gave me.
Which tells me, you know, just like a lot of wrestlers that I've experienced in my life,
Right.
he's going through a bad time.
Yep.
The business wasn't as important as it once was to him. You know, sometimes your mental health has to come first. A lot of
Absolutely.
If there's one thing COVID-19 has exposed, it's the fact that a lot of us are very unwell.
Right.
And that's not bad. It's not wrong. It's okay to know that. But the fact is, you've got to know that and work to fix it.
Right.
You know, like somebody asked me, he's like, how do you get through it? And I'm just like, I go to therapy. That's what. You know, like go to therapy. Talk to somebody.
Right.
You know, a lot of people poo-poo the idea of therapy. It's like, what are they going to tell me? It's like, that's not it. It's what you tell them.
Yep. Absolutely.
And if you walk in and lie
right.
to your medical professional,
why
you're
are
not
you
going to
going?
get anything out of it. You're
Plus,
just wasting
why
money.
you get exactly? Why would you even go? You know what I mean? If you're just going to lie and stuff.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
You get nothing out of it, though.
I know a lot of people that go to therapy. A lot of people.
Thinking about this year in terms of wrestling, obviously, like I said, at the beginning of the year, we had the Salem State Supercard planned,
Right.
and we were all excited about that. And when we got told that wasn't happening, you know, I spent the next, 5 months just thinking about what were we going to do when we brought things back. So, I mean, when we finally decided that we were going to basically merge Elkmania into
Right.
Proving Ground, a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I said, wow, I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. It's all Todd's problem now.
And I'm already battle tested for this. And I got a good team. And
Right.
and Ryan's always kind of been a part of it. So,
Yep.
you know, now he's officially a part of it, and as if he wasn't before.
I want a title.
Listen, I think Raven said it in a shoot interview once. He said, if more wrestlers went to therapy, there'd be a lot less dead wrestlers. And I think that's absolutely true.
I heard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Real quick, I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Cat out of the bag. You used to call, I watch a lot of you shoots.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I have High Spots Network. Cheap plug for them, right? I'm actually trying to get this show on. I could probably use your help, Todd. You would call in and ask, how big is Batista's certain anatomy? That's why we're on public access in Nashville.
Okay.
And we'll leave it like that. I think everybody knows what we're talking about. What was up with that question? Why did you always ask that question? You couldn't. I thought you would have came up with different questions.
I have an infatuation with dicks, Leo.
Well, you love my producer.
Your producer's name's Dick. I teamed with a Dick. Something about Batista, like he's big, like in stature, but he's not like super big. And I'm just curious. It could be big. It could be small.
Right.
It could be any. All right. So the real answer to this question is every time I'd send in a video asking it, they'd put me on the tape, Leo. That's why I did
True,
it.
right.
Okay.
You were on a lot of them.
Let me tell you something right now. I could give a damn how big Batista's schwanz is. I've already seen Sean Leaders. We're done. The conversation's over. He has to put it away slowly to avoid getting knots in it. Okay, this is what I deal with in this wrestling business. Okay, so I know.
Did anyone ever answer the question, though?
No.
I was just, I didn't see everyone.
I think the closest anyone came was the Insane Clown Posse. You know, we're like, we don't know about Batista, but Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
You know, so I think Alberto Del
love
Rio
their
said I was
interview.
weird. And then Ken Kennedy was like, it's not so much, and he actually elaborated further. So I was like, I asked
he was
Alberto
definitely playing
Del Rio when he was feuding with Batista, which was the best part of that whole thing.
Right. Big Man Machooch,
Yes.
what has been your favorite moment in wrestling?
For me, it was either the success of Level 3, the first out of the studio, well, not first out of the studio PG show, but first show, in an actual building and
Right.
all that stuff. But like, I'm not discrediting the chop shop, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're traveling
A
out.
place without a built-in audience,
Right.
where I had to pay for absolutely everything. Props to T Phoenix for giving me as many opportunities as he gave me. I love him for it, and he made the early the what I refer to now as the modern era of PG, very easy to
Nice.
do. And but yeah, so it's either that as a promoter doing that, or winning the Bay State title at
Yep.
Elkmania 4, or the backflip off the cage at Elkmania 6, something I'll never do again.
Right.
So
I mean, it all boils back to Elkmania stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, just seeing the houses get packed when they were packed,
Right.
seeing the crowd react to the main event. Damn, I hate giving Todd credit. He really could get that crowd up for him. I mean, it was just great to hear all that noise in a room that we put those people in. So,
yeah,
Very cool.
Wrestling's a variety show, and obviously I wasn't the only one on the card. I appreciate the audience's love for me the entire time, and the best is yet to come, whether I'm in the ring or not. And I'm looking forward to taking the ball that I've been given and running it back over the end zone as many times as I can for that building, for that place, for that city, for that area of, like, I grew up in Salem.
Right.
And the fact that I believe we didn't Atlee mention it to us today, Salem State is still interested in doing a show when everything's all done. So I'll actually be able to run a show in my hometown.
Wow, that will be excellent.
I feel like back home Bo Douglas.
Nice. Well,
So
Bo's coming up in a minute.
I know.
But Big Bear says, what is your biggest motivation to keep going in wrestling, guys?
I'm lonely. And I have nothing waiting for me at home. No, I love the business, and I'm also lonely. But I love the business. And the motivation to keep going is being able to see all these wonderful men and women that I get to associate with succeed. And, a lot of people are just like, don't you hate it when your top guy gets signed? And I'm just like, you'd hate that?
Yeah, why would you want that for these people, unless you're a selfish...
AG got signed, moved to Florida, a month ago, and he's already on TV every week?
that's a great thing to see.
That sure
is a
was.
great
That
thing
just
to
shows
see.
the confidence they have in him and where his level is at.
They changed his name,
Yeah,
but
that's
who
right.
cares?
Exactly.
He's still AG.
You got it. And he's on everything.
And I'm glad I haven't seen a lot of it, but I know it's out there. But that sour grapes feeling,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
like
I see it with people.
know that there are people out there, the Mayor McCheeses of the world, are out there crapping on the new name, saying he doesn't deserve it. What about
Right.
this? What about that? Nonsense.
Right.
I am very proud of Anthony, and I had the chance to work with him for both PG and Elkmania, in a promoter capacity.
Right.
And he's been a friend to me for a long time. He was the one who helped get my trading cards business off the ground. We had been talking about a lot of stuff, and then he got signed, and it was just like, all right, go make your money.
He's a good guy.
See you on the way back.
Right.
If hopefully he'll be there forever. But
I hope so. I really do. And like you said, though, seeing him right on TV right away, that really does
So
show.
cool.
They know what they have.
Yeah.
And I expect to see him around there for a very long time. I really do.
Yeah.
All right. So next, we have another guy that wants to self-promote himself in a question. Had to say it, kid. AJ Phoenix.
Oh,
Who is the best performer on Proving Ground, and why is it AJP? Before you answer, I will say this. Man, the kid's pretty good, dude.
he is.
Kid is
Guys,
seriously.
the kid, AJ can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think he skipped his senior year of high school and went straight to college or something like that. He's brilliant.
Right.
What the hell he's doing in the wrestling business, I will never know, but he's very good. And not only that, but he's young. He's 18, and he's been doing this since he was 12. Hell,
Seriously?
Yes.
Since he was 12?
Since he was 12. For as long as T has been running shows, he's been letting his
I've never met
delinquent
his dad.
child
I've never met his dad.
bump. He's a great guy. You should have him on.
I definitely would like to. So
And I just acquired this because T had me take some of his old tapes and put them into files. I have video of when his dad was doing backyard wrestling with a better cage than I've ever seen in my life. I wrestled in a cage. It didn't look as good as this backyard cage. And little AJ makes a cameo in diapers.
wow.
Wearing a JWO t-shirt. So I was just like, it was a JWO onesie is what it was. But I was just like, kid was born into it.
Right.
We're never getting to the name game. I'm just letting you know.
I doubt we are, because there's a couple other things we're going to have to talk about.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, no, he is a nice kid. He's coming up in a few weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it.
I almost forgot the question. Mike Montero is the best wrestler in the Proving Ground. There's no debate. But thank you for writing in.
I was going to interrupt and say I didn't know AJ Phoenix's name was Mike Montero.
Oh, no, but you said some nice things about AJP. He's an 18-year-old kid, man. He's got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I'll see you in a couple weeks, bud. All right, Maverick Wild. Would Ryan work for a wrestling company owned by Sony? That's not supposed to say Sonny, right?
No.
Okay, no,
All right.
it's supposed to say Sony.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, there are conditions. One, I would not willingly advertise anything to do with their Spider-Verse. I wouldn't. I don't care how much I would need to be paid well. And Sony, they're good at spending a lot of money on stuff that doesn't deserve a lot of money. So, I mean, they'd pay me. They'd pay me well.
Right?
I mean, the short answer is yes, for the right amount of money and to not have to advertise any of their Spider-Verse movies.
And that brings me to my next point. The right amount of money is $2,000.
Jesus.
Donated to charity. Might as well stick this in right now.
Yeah,
Right
do it.
now, we are auctioning off this beautiful 2-up of Mike Montero's Hasbro-style action figure produced by me.
The best performer in Proving Ground history.
Performer in Proving Ground
Sorry,
history.
AGP.
Sorry, everybody that isn't Mike Montero. Mike Montero's 2-up action figure. For every $10 donation, you will get one raffle ticket once we hit the $500 mark. If we happen to raise enough money to get to $2,000, I have it on good authority that I'm going to duct tape him to a chair and make him watch Sony's Venom, which he has promised he would never do.
Send me the link.
19
I'm going to help you.
Look,
I want to share it.
$19.99.99. That's where we stop. $19.99.99. That's where
And you
we
can
stop.
donate all that money. I even made a tiny URL for you. It's www.tinyurl.com/PG charity.
Please don't make me watch it.
Shut up. tinyurl.com/PG charity. Every $10 get you a raffle ticket for the giant 2-up and a signed 8x10 of everybody that was at our tournament.
Nice.
And if we could happen to get to $2,000,
Yes.
he will be force-fed some
Guys,
Venom.
this has to happen. Sorry, Ryan. Listen, sorry. Hey, while you're there, Timmy Kilgore.
Oh, yeah.
Timmy Kilgore. I knew immediately when I saw it. That's good work.
Yes, it is.
Really good work. And
yes,
the
it is.
Montero one is too.
It's
Don't
all
get me wrong. It
and-
looks
and-
just
and-
like him.
And not only that, but it's like, here's the prototype for some other fat. And see, now the problem is I have to size him up a little bit because I've never been that jacked.
I'm just going to throw it out
He
there.
looks like
it
the
should
guy
be
that
Mike
used to
Montero size for the standard.
Ty Street.
Ty Street.
Yep. You remember Ty Street?
I do.
He looks like Ty Street.
So, Proving Ground action figures coming soon.
Yes.
Probably Q1 2021. I wanted them ready for the holidays, but I don't want them to suck. So we're going to wait another couple of months. So
I'll tell you right now, man, I don't think they'll suck because those are awesome looking. They
Thank you.
really, really are. They are friggin' awesome looking.
tinyurl.com/PG charity. Donate as much as you can.
Guys, donate because I'm telling you, they really are awesome. All right.
And jokes aside, it goes to Boston Children's Hospital. None of the money passes through me. It goes directly to the children. So
Nice. That's excellent. Yeah. All right. Sean Leder, you brought him up earlier. In a
brought
different
him
way.
up
Yeah, you
earlier.
sure did bring him up. What's happening to the Dick Busters?
I don't know, Sean. Why don't you tell me? You know, like
He was supposed to be here a couple weeks ago.
Oh, where was he?
No, his girl had an accident.
That's
So,
right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So he's going to come back. He will come on though someday. I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, he'll be a good interview. He's
Yeah?
a very interesting cat. But the problem is he still has questions he needs to answer to me, and I haven't
All right, Sean,
seen him.
listen up.
I haven't seen him in a while, and or the times that I have seen him, he didn't talk to me. And Dick, it's the same thing. So as far
Dick
as
Lane too?
Dick Lane too.
He's here next week. No, 2 weeks.
Shortly after my surgery, when I needed both of them the most, they were absentee when I needed them, and to this day, and it's been over a year now. To this day, they haven't told me why. So, you know, that's that. And you know, I understand him not being here. What happened to his girlfriend
Right.
was an absolute tragedy. But I saw her. I saw her
doing good?
recently, and she's doing very well.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
I'm happy to report that. But
Nice.
as far as Sean and Dick are concerned, we haven't really spoken too much. Dick and I had a bit of a conversation at our private taping that we did. But unfortunately, that did not end the way that either of us would have liked, and we're still in a situation where I haven't heard from him about what I need to hear from him from. So, as far as what's going on with the Dick Busters, there isn't any Dick Busters.
Now there's 4 Dick Busters.
There are.
So far, you've only mentioned 3. I'm going to say the 4th because I was told I didn't know who they were before.
That's right. Yeah.
Tom Billington.
Tom Billington.
There it is.
Tom, let's put it this way: in the situation
He set me straight.
in the situation that caused this response to even happen,
Right.
I have tried to be the more diplomatic of the two of us. Tom is a little less.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
He tells it how it is, huh?
yeah, with his fists.
Nothing. Ooh.
And unfortunately, I had to make a decision on him after what happened at the private taping. So everything is a bit wonky.
Okay.
So as far as the Dick Busters are concerned, Sean, you should know better than all of us that there really isn't one. So
Wow.
it is what it is.
Yep. And I know you guys were doing some good things together.
Were.
Definitely. All right. Matthew McGee again. With the assumptions COVID ends, do you see yourselves with a working relationship? You've already answered it.
No.
Yeah. Not happening.
No, never going to happen.
Freight train, it ain't happening. All right. Paul Luciano. For Todd, how do you plan on growing the proving ground in the next 3 to 5 years?
Somehow making more money.
Okay.
No, with the Elk Mania merger, expanding to other buildings in the North Shore area.
Yep.
Hopefully building up a nice. I mean, we have fan base in Beverly, we have fan base in Peabody. We're going to be running in Salem. I'd like to be able to try and be consistent enough in the area that we can merge those groups together. So people in Salem who don't make the Salem show is like, oh wait, they're going to be in Beverly in 2 months. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
And that's the way a lot of people, when they expand to cities that are like not even near themselves.
Right.
Which is like, what are you doing? Your audience, if your audience has to drive more than 15 minutes, you're losing somebody.
I can tell you that that's proven.
Yeah.
I went to APW. They had a good crowd, but they had a quiet crowd, which tells me they had a different audience. Because if you've been to the shows in Newburyport, you know their fans there are rabid, dude. I mean, seriously, very loud.
I worked with APW for about a year.
Yeah, and honestly, man, they ran the show in Derry, in New Hampshire, because Mass isn't letting you run.
Yeah.
And the show was fun. I had a great time. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it was quiet. The fans were not like their normal fans.
And
running in the different building.
That's what you expect when you run in a place that probably doesn't know the talent. There's no wrestling in New Hampshire.
Right.
That's going to change. I know. Michael had talked about.
He's coming on in a few weeks. Also,
yeah. I had been told that Michael was going to make changes about that, and it'd start doing more shows in New Hampshire and whatnot. And it's not as big a hurdle as people make it out to be.
Right.
To run shows, but like it's gonna be a learning curve. It's gonna take a minute.
Yep.
Like when Michael showed up at APW was already established. Now, granted, the Newburyport building wasn't the fire station.
It wasn't the original home. Nope.
But the audience that was from the original home was coming along. And Salisbury Beach is traditionally, it's a good, it's a nice, good place and everything. Or I know that the training facility and the shows that they run aren't in the same city. But what I'm saying is that any new area you go into, any new building, there's going to be the learning curve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. You probably already answered this, but Bo Douglas says, what's next?
We're going to try and make a lot more money somehow.
We're going to raise $2,000 with the figures. URL what, Todd?
What was that? URL, that's tinyurl.com/PG charity. That money doesn't go to PG at all.
Right. But if you get 2,000, you're going to duct tape Ryan to a chair.
Well, hey, we'll be nice to you. We'll give you one of them spinny chairs. And then we'll force it so it won't spin, so you won't have the opportunity to get away.
I was going to say, I can turn away from it.
But yeah, no, what's next? What happens after this merger, figuring out the odds and ends. He's going to be looking for new buildings for us. Once again, we have the exclusivity on the Beverly Elks now. So, we're going to be we're basically going to, not that we need to be rebuilt, but we're going to be rebuilding our brand in a different, not necessarily a different image, but it's going to be closer to my home. And I think I know more about this area than most of the people that have run in this area. I mean, not including us, obviously. We did that stuff together. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, I know what this town needs and what these towns need, or what this area needs. So let's go give it to them as soon as we can.
Nice.
But yeah, we're just, obviously just like the world, we got to wait,
Yep.
and that's okay.
All right. Ben Cassieri, honest question. Where did you get the idea to create Proving Ground? You told us a long time ago on this show. Well, you want to tell it again?
Yeah, we'll never get into the
Abridged
name.
version.
We actually, this is it, dude.
Oh, okay.
I was going to surprise you.
And it's pronounced Kachiri.
Kachiri, I'm sorry.
I
See,
know.
I've been mispronouncing him and his brother's name for a while now.
Yeah. So the answer is, when did you come up with the Proving Ground? Is like, well, I called it Project Zero Wrestling. The only difference was that wasn't successful. You can go find 7 years worth of that content on YouTube. Just search for PZW on YouTube or Project Zero Wrestling.
Some good stuff. The early stuff with Atlee Green being unslammable. Look it up.
Yep, when he wrestled the gravestone of George Hackenschmidt, or back when Adam Nessel body slammed Atlee Green. Just the very, very early days.
Yeah, because Adam wrestled in the
Yes.
early days of Proving Ground. I remember him telling us the story
Yes.
right here.
So,
Keep laying some Easter eggs for me, please.
yes. So go ahead and check out the old stuff. That's kind of where that started. It really started with, I always wanted to run a promotion that did 100 episodes, and then I did that with PZW. And then when that ended, I was in a relationship with someone who didn't support the wrestling, so it was just like, well, I guess I'm done. Right. And I thought I was done, in 2012, and then in 2013 we did Elkmania, and then the rest of it just spiraled from there. And of course, the girl split, and I met people that would actually support me, and then they'd split, and then then I knew me, and I was like my own personal jockstrap because I knew how to support me.
There you go.
So and now I'm running a wrestling company that people actually like working for, so they say. So
all right,
that was my inspiration. I just wanted to do good, and now it's happening.
Say Ben's last name again.
Kachiri.
Ben Kachiri. Thank you for the questions. All right. We got 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and we got time to play the name game. First time ever with you.
No, it's not. But like,
it is? Oh, we did play it.
We always play it for 5 minutes.
Oh,
One day
right.
I'm going to come in here, and that's all we're doing.
All right. Davis Wright.
Aside from that thing he did to the Golden Gate Bridge a few years ago, he's a really decent guy.
I think he's the second best announcer in the area, right behind Adam Salzer.
You really hate that man, don't you?
Yes, I do. I really do hate that man.
Who? Adam?
No, we can't
Nope.
say it.
We won't say it.
We won't go
No.
that far. Now that you're out of the business,
We'll tell you when the camera's off.
Yeah.
Actually, I may see a reaction on your face right now because I'm also going to be calling another announcer out.
Okay.
Bobby Rossi.
Bobby Rossi just moved to Ohio.
Great kid, man. Thank you for introducing me to him.
I like Bobby. Bobby and I had a weird relationship for a second, and then it was just like, let's have a conversation, and then it was over.
But you
that's
told
all
me
it
a lot
takes.
of guys, you know what I mean? You introduced me to a lot of guys, and they've been coming on the show, and I just want to say thank you for that. Because I think Bobby's a great guy.
If there's anybody that was going to come on this show and out-talk me, it was going to be him.
Yeah.
And
He was good,
He
too.
did a good job, I think.
Got me baked after, too. All right. So listen, seeing that you said we played the name game here before, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say a couple companies.
Okay.
New England All-Star Wrestling.
That's
Caleb Seltzer.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. Not I'm familiar with a lot of the talent
Yep.
he uses, and I'm glad that he's still doing what he's doing. You know, I think the first time I heard of it was Mike McCarthy showed up late to an NCW show because he was double shotting. Like that's when I heard about it.
Right.
I guess, and yeah. So I so far so good. It sounds like it's working out.
Okay. Mike McCarthy. Seeing you brought him up. The Masso.
I love that guy.
Good old
He is
toxic
awesome.
Tommy.
Yeah. Tommy Knoxville.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure being able to work with him, and he was always so easy. And oddly enough, I was a part of bridging a gap with him and Todd Sopel the night of that show.
Oh, really?
Because Todd had a bunch of call outs that show, and he called Mike, who I guess, and once again I'm speaking based,
Right.
I might be telling tales out of school here, but it seemed, I believe there was some kind of heat, and Todd reached out because he needed talent. He knew Mike was going to be at my show, and Mike was super cool. He even asked me, he's like, "Is this okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, go
Make some money.
Go make your money."
Right.
I was like, I'm not mad at him.
Right.
I'm not mad at the guy across town. Just go do what you got to do. So yeah, that was I like him. I wish I could have him a lot more.
Yeah, no doubt. Great talent. And I have a great picture of him and a bunch of other dudes. He was Tommy Knoxville. It was
Yeah.
awesome down in Rhode Island. All right, Limitless Wrestling and Randy Carver Jr.
He's been keeping me in business for the last several years.
Yeah.
It's like all the orders he makes for our trading
great.
cards. Yeah. So I love Randy Carver. I
Doing
absolutely
great things.
And he's making what I did before I branched out to doing like bigger shows.
Right.
He's making what I did look cool. So I'm like, double thank you to Randy Carver for making them studio shows look neat.
Nice.
So
Well, see, you brought up the studio shows. NECW and Sheldon Goldberg.
you know, the last time I discussed Sheldon Goldberg, I was a little upset about what he said to Bob. I've since like met him. No, I haven't really had a conversation with him or
Right.
anything. It's like he's harmless. You know, it's just it's nice to see that, you know, he's got all those years of NECW footage
Sure
that he's
does.
putting up, and
Sheldon's a good guy.
yeah, he's keeping
is.
NECW alive, and NECW is considered an institution, you know, in the area. So it's nice to actually see that footage. Mav asked me when I was going to start putting up front row videos
Yeah.
because I have them all,
Right.
or a lot of them anyway, and I asked permission to put them up, but like I didn't want to just like throw them and dump them all out, you
Right.
know. So that's coming. But yeah, no, Sheldon's all right. NECW is cool.
Nice. I just, the way I look at things as like a guy that's around the wrestling business.
Yeah.
I want everybody to support each other.
Yeah.
I really do. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see people fighting with
No.
each other. Help each other.
My goal in the position that I'm in
Right.
is that I want to work with everybody.
Right.
And
That's how it should be.
there are still always, it's never going to change.
Right.
There's always going to be people who look at PG like this. They're never going to reach across and shake hands and
shame on
say
them.
they're on the same level. And that's fine. They don't need to say they're on the same level.
Right.
We'll just continue doing what we're doing. They'll continue doing what they're doing. And we can exist separately. We can coexist. It's what I tried to do.
You have a lot of respect of a lot of guys in this area that are very well respected. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A lot of guys. So don't sell yourself short. Seriously.
No.
Guys,
What I'm trying to sell is all
Yes!
of these toys, the charity, tinyurl.com/PG charity. I think we got 41 seconds. What are
Yes.
the names you got?
I got Chris Casanova. Next guy I think that's going to be out
Super
of here.
talented.
Should be on TV already. I said
Yes.
it years ago.
All right. Sonny Goodspeed, my buddy.
Good old Orland.
I
When's
miss
the
that guy.
cooking show
I
coming
miss
back?
that guy.
Your first guest of the podcast you're going to do someday, Brian Malonis.
Oh.
My favorite wrestler.
I mean, he put me in the hospital, but other than that, no. Brian Malonis is a great guy. I'm privileged to know him.
What about Jimmy Malonis?
Never met him.
met him.
Heard he's a dick.
Wow. All right. Guys, plug yourselves real quick. You got 8 seconds.
I love Kevin Giles. That was for you.
All right.
Oh, PG charity, $2,000, Sony.
We're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.